Welcome back to another installment of Red Carpet Living with Jen. I am your hostess, Jennifer Mercado, Florida-based realtor, here to give you some tips to get comfortable getting uncomfortable. Hi. So, like I mentioned in my intro, I wanted to give you guys some tips to really ease and calm and get comfortable with getting uncomfortable because for the month of March on my Facebook page, we will be discussing all the different types of way that you can finance and buy a house. And money typically gets people uncomfortable. So, as a precursor to that, I wanted to give you some tips to de stress and strategize how you can have the uncomfortable conversation of cash. So while I was doing my self care routine today of shower, washing my hair, it really dawned on me that the definition of self care has changed for a lot of people. And it could be something like, exercising, moving your body, eating healthy, to just taking a quick 3-minute break to breathe somewhere and meditate, really, sit into your mindfulness. So it really inspired this episode because I know we're going to talk about money for the rest of the month of March on my Facebook page. And I know that money can get people uncomfortable. It's just something that if you're not around it all the time, or, if you weren't raised in maybe a luxurious home, you feel some type of way about it. Maybe there's some shame, resentment, embarrassment around it, but it really shouldn't be that way, especially when it comes to talking about how that money is going to get you to your home. So I wanted to give you guys just some tips of things that I do for self-care when I feel myself getting stressed out, or when I feel that tension is rising kind of in my chest and my neck and shoulders. That's, for me, that's where I can tell that I'm getting stressed. So the first thing I want to leave you guys is notice your stress levels. Find out when you're just at the cusp of that boiling over point that you might snap, so that you can gauge how high of a stress or your own stress meter you have. It's really important when you have that gauge, when you can tell, all right, I need a break. I'm going to push it to the limit if I keep going, because if you don't know what your limits are, then you're going to burn yourself out and you're not going to give yourself the care, space, and time to really get yourself back to homeostasis. So my first tip for self-care is know when you need it. If you don't know that you need it, then you're not going to go get it. So be sure to align with yourself, get aware of your body, find out what kind of tenses up, where you hold your breath, where you're clenching your fists, those types of things. Or if for you, it could be you start zoning people out when you're starting to get stressed out. Whatever is your flavor of stress, identify it so that when you are aware of it, you can do something to calm yourself down. The other thing that you can do after you've gotten that awareness is either walk away from the situation or take a brief pause to breathe and notice your surroundings. As somebody who struggled with panic attacks in college, one of the things that I learned was I think it was like the 5 sense stimulation. So I had to name something I can see, hear, feel, touch, and taste. And that kind of brought me back into the moment where I didn't let my mind spiral out. So find a de-escalation strategy for yourself that helps. And that could be a quick one on the spot. I know for younger kids, it could be counting their fingers, singing a song, humming, or looking at a picture that makes them feel happy. That's self-care. That's just you noticing that your body is in an uncomfortable position and you want to get yourself comfortable and care for yourself in that moment so that you're not spiraling out of control. And the last thing that I wanted to leave you with is that self-care, as I mentioned before, is evolving. So it's really important that you define self-care for yourself. For me, it's making myself a cup of coffee in my new favorite mug. Like the Janet purple is my favorite color. It's buying things of my favorite color and just leaving myself little reminders. So for me, my ultimate favorite color is purple, any shade, violet, lavender, you name it, I love it. Hence the towel and the mug. But the other color that I've really been vibing with this year is rose gold. So I bought myself a rose gold mouse. I have like a grid behind the camera that I can hang pictures on. Oh, it's not here. The little pop-it on my phone is rose gold. Just finding visual cues that remind me to calm down, to find my center, to come back to space where, I can release that tension and release that stress so that I don't feel overwhelmed in the moment. And yeah, ultimately, I also wanted to share this with you guys because I want, whenever I'm working either with a buyer or a seller or a tenant, for them to feel relaxed, for them to feel like it's kind of a spa day where we can talk easily and without any sort of discomfort about what your priorities are in your home shopping or home selling, right? I really want to make sure that I can guide you and that you feel comfortable in my guidance and that you trust me to know that your transaction is in the best hands possible because I have all that I have equipped myself with for me, for you as well, in order to make sure that we have the best transaction going forward. So, if you are catching this later on in the month of March and you stumbled upon my Facebook page first, you can always come back and go back and forth between the two pages. So I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/Jennifer Mercado Realtor. I have a webpage, www.jennifermercadorealtor.com. Here on YouTube, Red Carpet Living with Jen. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Clubhouse. I'm on LinkedIn. And I'm also on the audio version of this. Oh, that's right. The audio. I forget that I'm going to do this in audio too. All right. So for those who are listening, I held up my rose gold mouse and my pop-in after. But you can find me on Anchor.fm, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and a ton of other distribution channels. So thank you so much for spending this time with me, for catching this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And let me know in the comments below, what are some things that are quick, easy steps that you can go to really bring yourself back to center, especially when you're in an uncomfortable or you're sensing some sort of unease within your system. And it usually happens around money. So if that's the case too, check yourself. Where is it that you feel that discomfort level and identify it so that you can really find out what are some things that are going to work for you moving forward so that you're not either facing that discomfort as much or you're more stable going into it. So I hope you all have a wonderful and fantastic day, month, year, whenever it is that you're catching this. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I look forward to sharing another video here in a few weeks. Thanks. Take care.